Ringcast team. So we're here with promoter extraordinaire of Matchroom Boxing. So we've just finished the Anthony Joshua Dillian Whyte press conference. It's quite eventful. Obviously, this is one of many big shows you've put on now. Where would you say this ranks from top to bottom?
In terms of excitement, this is right up there. You know, the rivalries, obviously we saw Chris Eubank Jr. and Spike O'Sullivan earlier, that was brilliant to watch. And this is probably the most intense rivalry I've ever seen. Now you get a lot of rivalries, I'm going to do that, but when you're around people and you just feel this could go at any stage, and that's how you feel around Joshua and Whyte. And it's a real fight, you know. Dillian Whyte, although many people think it's going to be fairly routine for Joshua, this is a proper fight, and Dillian Whyte's not going to back down, and Dillian Whyte believes he's going to win the fight.
And Dillian Whyte's had a lot to say.
Yeah.
You know, he's alluded to certain things. I mean, you was Joshua's promoter. Does it concern you, some of the things that Dillian Whyte's saying in terms of, you know, what Joshua may have done in the past? And
your past is your past, and Joshua's past is part of his story. No, he was going down the wrong path in life, and he turned his life around. He won Olympic gold, and now he's on the verge of challenging for the world heavyweight title. You don't have to hide it. You should promote it. It's a success story, you know, and it should inspire people. I think Joshua is a good role model. He's someone that's turned his life around. So, you know, we never hide Joshua's past. If Dillian chooses to talk about it, if Joshua talks, it's not a problem. Everyone's got a past, so I don't mind. You know, I think it's all part of the story and should be told.
Yeah,
but in the right way.
Definitely. I mean, you're a big guy yourself, but I mean, being in between those two big guys and it being on the verge of what's that like? Well,
it's one thing being a big guy, but it's another one being a big guy that can't fight. So, you know, when I'm in the middle of them, and you can feel the energy, and it only takes one of them to go, and I have no choice but to jump in, and I'm going to get knocked out cold in the process. So you can't really win. But we'll probably add a few pay-per-view buys on the back of it, so it's not all bad. You know.
Exactly.
But you know, listen, they've got to conduct themselves in the right way, and they did. You know, there hasn't been any pushing or shoving or headbutting. There might be at the way. You know, but this is what rivalry and this is what sells fights. We just have to remember we have a code of conduct to follow.
Definitely, and obviously we're looking forward to that fight. It's part of a big card. Obviously, chief support, Eubank against Spike O'Sullivan. I mean, that's another fight that, you know, we're all looking forward to. I mean, what are your thoughts on the build-up and how they're both looking coming into it?
Eubank is very cold, very clinical. Spike is getting the opportunity of his lifetime. So, well, I just think that it's a great fight. It's a fight that means so much in the division. The winner gets Danny Jacobs, and it's a real fight. It's a real fight. You know, Pascal Collins said something which was interesting. He says, you know, you have to be around the sport. You have to have the knocks and the disappointments, have those gym wars, and the fact that Spike is providing for his family. Spike has to win the fight. So he will be resilient. He will be tough. And I expect a great fight.
Yeah. And do you see the winner sort of leading on to the natural path of fighting Danny Jacobs, who just beat Peter Quillen?
Yeah, I think so. They're going to become the mandatory. It's when that mandatory is put in, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, but it'll be in that kind of period. That might mean one more for Eubank in the meantime, it might not.
Yeah. We've also got Tony Bellew on the card.
Great fight.
Which, in my opinion, is probably the toughest fight on the card. Obviously, other than the main event.
Don't tell him that.
Possibly.
He want more money.
I mean, how have you sort of found his sort of mind frame coming back?
This is the kind of fight that he needs. You know, he's had, obviously, we all know the Creed stuff that he was in that film. Had a couple of easy fights this year. This is one of the top fights in the cruiserweight division. One of the toughest fights. Neither guy really needed it. They just wanted it. They thought, that's a good fight, I'll have it. Which is unusual in boxing. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a war.
Okay, and finally, I mean, what would you say to the fans out there about this card and what to expect and why it's
watch the footage from today. This is from 5 o'clock in the afternoon till midnight at night. This is the top talent of British boxing. Grudge matches, world level matches, Olympic champions, undefeated prospects, former world champions. This card has everything, and it's going to be a huge night for British boxing.
Okay, well, we look forward to it, and thanks for your time, Eddie.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Ringcast.